The reason that we've got these debts and deficit is because we're not making hard choices. Right now, we're supposed to spend nearly $1 trillion more on what was intended to be a temporary tax cut for the wealthiest 2% of Americans. Supposed to be temporary. Back in 2001. That's a long time ago. A quarter of all millionaires pay lower tax rates than millions of middle-class households. Warren Buffett pays a lower tax rate than his secretary. I know because she was at the State of the Union. She told me. Now, that's not fair. That doesn't make sense. And the reason it's important for us to recognize that is, if we're going to reduce our deficit, then we've got to have a balanced approach that has spending cuts, and we've already agreed to $2 trillion worth of spending cuts. We got to get rid of programs that don't work. We've got to make government more efficient. I have asked Congress for authority to consolidate some of these agencies to make them run better. We're going to have to be much more effective when it comes to government spending. We all acknowledge that, and we're making progress on that front, but that alone doesn't do it. So if we want to actually deal with the deficit, we've got to look at the other side of the ledger. Do we want to keep these tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans, or do we want to keep investing in everything else, like education, like clean energy, like a strong military, like caring for our veterans who are coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan? We can't do both. We can't do both. So what I've said is, let's follow the Buffett rule. If you make more than $1 million a year, you should pay a tax rate of at least 30%. Which, by the way, is lower than you would have been paying under Ronald Reagan. Nobody's talking about anything crazy here. On the other hand, if you make less than $250,000 a year, which 98% of all Americans do, then your taxes shouldn't go up. I think that's a fair approach. And a lot of folks have been running around saying, well, that's class warfare. Asking a billionaire to pay at least as much as his secretary in taxes, that's just common sense. And I promise you, if we make this change, Warren Buffett will be doing fine. I will be doing fine. Scott will be doing fine. We don't need more tax breaks. You're the ones who've seen your wages and your income stall while the cost of everything from groceries to college to health care have been going up. You're the ones who deserve a break. And I want to make one last point. We do not begrudge success in America. We aspire to it. We want everybody to succeed. We want everybody to be rich. We want everybody to be working hard, making their way, creating new products, creating new services, creating jobs. That's the American way. We don't shy away from financial success. We don't apologize for it. But what we do say is, when this nation has done so much for us, shouldn't we be thinking about the country as a whole? When Americans talk about folks like me paying their fair share of taxes, it's not because they envy the rich. Just yesterday, Bill Gates said he agrees with me that that Americans who can't afford it should pay their fair share. I promise you, Bill Gates does not envy the rich. He doesn't envy wealthy people. This has nothing to do with envy. It has everything to do with math. It's what I talked about earlier. We've got to make choices. Americans understand, if I get a tax break I don't need, and a tax break the country can't afford, then one of two things are going to happen. Either it's going to add to our deficit, right? Or somebody else is going to have to make up the difference. Senior suddenly is going to have to start paying more for their Medicare. Or a student is going to have to pay more for their student loan. Or a family that's trying to get by, they're going to have to do with less. And that's not right. That's not who we are. Each of us is only here because somebody, somewhere, felt a responsibility to each other and to our country and helped to create all this incredible opportunity that we call the United States of America. Now it's our turn to be responsible, and it's our turn to leave an America that is built to last for the next generation. That's our job, and we can do it. We can do it.